Hello, and welcome to a segment I like to call the Critic Diaries, where in each episode we get to talk about each episode of the Vampire Diaries. Now, I do have to give a shout out to a close friend of mine, Louise. She loves the show, it's her favorite. And the more she spoke about Vampire Diaries, the more I was like, yes, I'm going to watch it. So, what we are going to do is that in each episode, we're going to be talking about an episode of Vampire Diaries. So, I did watch episode 1 and 2 today, so we're going to be talking about those two episodes. What is it about? Who are the characters that I like? Who are the characters I don't like? And who are the characters that I feel like has the most potential with um, character development? So, with that said, let's jump into it. So, episode 1 of Vampire Diaries I found to be pretty solid. It's a really good pilot episode. We get introduced to a few characters. We have Elena Gilbert with her brother Jeremy, and they live with their aunt Jenna, right? Then, moving over to the Salvadors, we have Stefan Salvador. I kind of wanted to call him Stefano, like Stefano from Days of Our Lives. I don't know if anyone has seen that soap opera. um, so we have Stefan, and then we have Damon, and we'll get to what I think about those two brothers in a second. Then we have Elena's friends. We have Bonnie. Bonnie is my favorite character. I'm just gonna put that out there. She's my favorite from the get-go. And then we have Caroline. Caroline comes across as very perky, she kind of gives popular girl vibes amongst the group of friends that she has. But okay, we're gonna get to the characters in detail and what I think about them in a second. Then we have Jeremy and Jeremy's friend Vicky. I know he has like a huge crush on her, and we'll get to that in a second when we talk about that. And then we have Tyler. Tyler and Vicky seems to be a couple. All right. So, what do I think about each of these characters? Well, the characters that I love, right from the get go, we have Bonnie and Stefan. I love Bonnie. Like, she is a witch, and I love the fact that, they slowly, talking about her powers. And I feel like she's going to be one of those characters that as the show progresses, she is just going to, kick butt. I want her to be like in the forefront and be like, fighting against those who are trying to destroy Mystic Falls or go against this team that I can see like is slowly forming. I also love Stefan Salvador, or as I like to call him, Stefano Salvador. No, shame. Let me call him Stefan. So Stefan, I like as well. Another character that I liked from the get-go, very dark, very misty. He gives me Edward vibes, like Edward from Twilight, if anyone has seen the Twilight Saga. Although I do imagine that if you are watching Vampire Diaries or you have watched Vampire Diaries, that you've definitely watched Twilight and have at least enjoyed it to a certain extent. But with Stefan, he reminds me a lot of Edward. The only difference is they do not shine in the sunlight. Okay, I'll stop with the Twilight references. I make no promises, but I make no reference to Twilight. He doesn't shine in the sun, which is interesting, but he does remind me a lot of Edward from Twilight. And I think, and I'm not 100% sure, that Vampire Diaries was actually inspired by Twilight. So if the similarities are there, then it's not that far of a stretch. Now, the characters that I like, but I feel like has a lot of potential. We're going to start off with the main character, Elena. I feel like this is a character that has a lot of potential. I'm not saying I don't like her. I liked her just fine. It's just that, as a main character, I thought maybe she would be fleshed out a lot more in terms of personality and and in terms of character. But again, it's only been the first two episodes. They could really develop her into a really fleshed out character and really get to see where she is going. I want to see her fight. I don't just want to see her be this main character, you know, in love with Stefan, and Stefan and Bonnie are doing all the fighting. Like, no, I want Elena to also be part of that. Whatever happens later on in the season. Another character that I like, but I feel like has a lot of potential, is maybe Caroline. But Caroline, I feel like it's more on the dislike. Okay, I don't know. Caroline, let's just say, is a character that I do not dislike nor like. She's okay. She comes across as like the perky, popular girl, which feels a bit out of place with being friends with Bonnie and Elena, because Bonnie and Elena they don't really give off that vibe, but they are a group of friends, and I can at least appreciate the fact that we have a group of friends in a TV show where each one has their own distinct personality. I feel like maybe I'll like Caroline more as the show progresses, which is something I look forward to seeing. But I think for now, I just think she's okay. All right, a character that I dislike, like to my core, is Damon. Like Damon Salvador. Now, I did a fun fact video on Vampire Diaries a couple of years ago, and someone in my comments said that I will like Damon and I will dislike Stefan. But I'm okay. I'm only on episode 2. I'm going to be watching episode 3 soon, and so far I really like Stefan, but I don't like Damon. Damon looks like a troublemaker, and he is there to disturb the town. He attacks Vicky, first of all, and Stefan has to come after him and tell Vicky, no, you were attacked by an animal, just so that the vampires are protected. And it doesn't have to be Stefan's responsibility, but here we are. Like, Stefan has to run around and make sure that their identity is protected. And then you have Damon, who is literally causing trouble. Now, when I finished episode 2 of Vampire Diaries, we see Damon is, with Caroline. I was actually kind of surprised to see that sort of scene in that show, but we saw it, and then he does his vampire thing and he bites her neck. So I'm assuming Caroline is going to be turned into a vampire in the next episode or in the next few episodes, which, in my opinion, that's going to be interesting. The one thing I did think was that Caroline was going to stay human for the entirety of the show. Like, she's just going to be a character that's there, and that's about it. So I can at least appreciate the fact that she could be turned into a vampire. I could be wrong because I haven't seen episode 3 yet. We will get to that when we get there. But yeah, I don't like Damon. Damon is causing so much trouble in the town. And I don't know if he's supposed to be the villain of the season or if that's supposed to be someone else. Because he's causing so much trouble. He's kind of the antagonist of the show, whereas Elena and Stefan and, Bonnie and everyone else, they're the protagonists. But yeah, we will see. So episode 1 I found to be a very solid pilot. Episode 2 I found to be even better than episode 1, in my opinion. I think if I had to rate them, I'd probably say episode 1 of Vampire Diaries is 7. Episode 2 is probably a 7.5. Kind of pushing towards an 8 because it is really good. I found it to be really good. This video is kind of like all over the place, but that's just how it's going to be structured. Yeah, I look forward to seeing episode 3 of the Vampire Diaries, and I want to see where this goes. Caroline is going to be a vampire, or she may be a vampire. I don't know. We will see about that. I want to see more Bonnie. Bonnie isn't getting that much screen time, but I see so much potential with her. And I mean, she's my favorite from the get-go. Maybe it's just my personal biases, but I want to see Bonnie in the forefront. others. But yeah, those are my thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 of the Vampire Diaries. What do you think of the Vampire Diaries? Are you someone that enjoys the show or not so much? Also, comment down below who is your favorite character and who's your least favorite character. Is your favorite character Stefan, or is it Bonnie, or Damon, or Elena, or I don't know. Maybe your favorite character is Jeremy. Let me know down in the comments. If you have watched up until this point, please consider subscribing and turn on the notification so that you don't miss a video, because I do plan on continuing with these episodes. But with that said, I hope everyone has a lovely day further. If you're watching this at night, I hope you have a lovely evening further. But with that said, I will see you in the next one. Bye.